up a camp today. Okay. Let's see. All right, everybody. So last call for 2 blankets, bolster, and a strap, and anything else that you guys would like. All right. Do we have any special requests today for class? What's that? Oh, okay. Any requests? Anything you guys want to work on? Any areas of the body? Any kind of poses? Lower back? Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Anything else? Neck and shoulders? Okay, good. That's why I got the straps. I was already thinking that for myself. So, I figured everyone else could use it too. All right. Anyone on Zoom, if you want to unmute yourself, you can let me know if you have any special requests for today. For those of you that are new to this studio, this class is through Zoom, so hence the AirPod and communicating with that. And you guys could always have access to these live streams, and these will go onto our video library as well. So if you can't make it to class, or if you want to take a class before bed, that's my favorite with Restorative, then you can take that at home in the comfort of your own house, and Shavasana can be bedtime. All right. The shoulders, lower back, anything else? Okay. So let's get started on a comfortable seat. So let's elevate our seat a little bit. So either sit on the edge of your bolster, a blanket or two. We just want to have the hips a little higher than your knees. However, that can happen for you. And if that is a little uncomfortable, if you want to have an alternative option, you can take hero's pose, which is kind of sitting on your shins. You can put a block underneath your seat for that as well. So let's get started. Closing our eyes. And just kind of coming into this space, this moment. So you can place your hands on your knees, palms facing down if you kind of feel a little bit more grounding is necessary for you today. Or you can have palms facing up to be in a little bit more of a receiving fashion. Roll your shoulders back, down your spine. Make sure your neck is nice and long. So you want to get into your best posture here. And coming onto the edge of your bolster helps kind of tip your pelvis forward. So that posture is even more easy to kind of come into. And stacking your shoulders over your hips. Crown of the head, stacking right over the shoulders. And if there's anyone today that does not want to be physically assisted and touched, please raise your hand now for a moment. Okay, we all good? All right. So just breathe in a little deeper now. And kind of just notice what your breath is feeling like right now. And maybe kind of check in with yourself on a little bit of a deeper level. Like ask yourself how you're really doing today. And give yourself that honest answer, not just like the answer that you give in passing or you quickly say in a text message or an email. What's that real response, that real answer? We got a little bit more room up front. And then as you ask yourself how you're doing, see if there's any kind of connection you can make with your breath. The easiest example I have is when I've had a really stressful week, my breath is really short, shallow, choppy. But if I've had kind of a better week, it's a little bit easier for me to just fall into place. But see what your own experience can offer you in this moment. And then start taking some deeper sips of air as you breathe in. And breathe in all the way to the pit of your belly. So start bringing in the diaphragm. And then relax the shoulders a little bit more down your back. Yes, exactly. So come a little bit more on the edge of your seat so you can sit up a little bit. So that front edge, yeah. And then roll the shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, yeah. All right. So challenge your breath to go a little bit deeper and a little bit slower than what that standard baseline breath was. Now step in and take control of your breath. Or maybe just start to understand that we have the opportunity to control our breath. Sit up a little taller, adjust your posture, and keep allowing more space for that air to come into your body. Reach to the crown of your head, and then maybe tuck your chin in just slightly so the back of your neck is nice and long. Keep breathing in. Deeper and deeper with every breath in, and every breath out gets easier and easier. Just kind of let your exhale be like a sigh out. Take 5 more deep breaths here. No problem. Over your next couple of breaths, slowly start to open your eyes. Let them softly start to flutter. And then start rolling your shoulders back a little bit more down your back. Keep reaching through your spine nice and tall. And then take a gentle twist to the right side. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Look over your right shoulder. Reach up to the crown of your head. Take one more big breath in. Extend your spine. Exhale, twist it over to the left side. So right hand to left knee. Sit up nice and tall. You can take your left hand on the floor or to your bolster to help you prop up your spine. Take one more big breath in. Breath out, come back through center. And let's grab our straps. So grab your straps and kind of grab each end, get it really tight. And we're gonna get some shoulder mobility going right away. So inhale your arms up over your head. Try to get it tight enough that you can bring it behind your back. So you might need to figure out some adjustments there, maybe make the strap a little bit longer. Inhale up. Exhale your arms through center and keep it tight through the front so you can even get a little bit of a stretch in the front of your arm. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale up. Exhale in front. And then go at a few more rounds at your own pace. Maybe you can start making the strap a little bit tighter after you do a few rounds of this. So those of you that are new to the restorative flow class, maybe new to the studio or to yoga, this class, we spend the first half really warming up all the body, modifying our flow from like a vinyasa to like very modified, just kind of get everything moving a little bit. And then the second half of class, we really slow it down and we start using all these props a lot. So keep your breathing here and coordinate that breath with every movement. One movement, one breath. Take one more round. And then we're going to keep the strap in our right hand and take Gomukhasana arms. So Gomukhasana is going to take the strap in your right hand right at the base of your neck. And then you're going to take your left hand back behind you, palm facing outwards towards the back of the room, and grab the other end of the strap. And then try to point your right elbow all the way up to the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades super tight. Some of you may even be able to grab your own fingers and kind of lock it in there, but we got the strap, so we can kind of ease ourselves into it. And breathe. Every breath in, try to squeeze your shoulder blades a little bit tighter and lift your elbows up to the ceiling. Take one more big breath in. Breath out, release the strap and keep it in your left hand. And then we're going to do the other side. So we're going to take the left hand kind of at the base of our neck, base of where your ponytail might be. And then we take our right hand behind our back. And then we really want to sit up tall here still. Sometimes when our shoulders are really tight, we start to tilt forward. So notice if that's happening for you and keep opening up. through your elbows. So the elbow wants to keep pointing up to the ceiling. Welcome, welcome. We have a spot right here and we have a couple up front. Yeah, so one side may be a little bit of a different story than the other. So be really accepting of that. It's all right. A lot of us have asymmetrical bodies. That's just how the body works. And it's all right. Slowly release your strap. Take it off to the side. And then we're going to come on to hands and knees. This is for you. No worries, no worries. And then come on to all fours. We're going to run through some cat-cow postures. So hands are going to be right underneath your shoulders or a little bit wider. For those of you that were requesting shoulders today, maybe give yourself a little bit more space. And the knees are going to be right underneath your hips. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades away from our neck, down towards our tailbone as we drop our belly. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round your spine into your cat. Inhale, drop the belly, drop the chest. Exhale, puff up your back, pull your belly in tight. And we're still just working on coordinating the breath with our movement. So try to pace your inhale as slow as that movement of your spine. And maybe notice if you're moving a little bit faster, notice how your breath is coordinating. So the word yoga means union. So union of the mind, the body, union of the breath and the posture. So many layers of what that word, what that idea means in yoga. So try to keep that in the back of your mind as we practice today. And the most important thing is really to breathe. Even if certain poses don't agree with you today, you are totally open to taking your own posture, taking a child's pose. But as long as you're breathing, we can still relax and restore. Take about 2 more rounds and really push those hands in your cat pose and let your upper back round. And then start adding a little bit more free range movement into this flow. So tap into what we call a bear flow. You just start moving your hips, your chest, kind of like barrel roll your chest, maybe kind of swing back through child's pose. It's best to just close your eyes and just feel. Feel what this moment feels like inside of this body. Sometimes we have so much going on, we're not even inside of our own bodies. We're like out in the external world because we have so many demands and responsibilities. So try to spend this hour keeping that attention right inside. Come back home to this body. And what does it feel like to be home? And sometimes that feeling of home is not so great. So if that's the case, accept that and see how you can support your home. You know, we all need renovations at home every once in a while. So see if there's anything that's kind of really calling your attention today. Maybe it's the lower back or the shoulders, hips, maybe even the wrists, who knows? Just spend this next hour really investigating what this body needs and what this home feels like. Tune everything out. Give yourself that opportunity. And then open up your knees a little bit wider. Sit back in a child's pose. So big toes come to touch. Have your knees wide enough so your whole chest can fit through. If your forehead is not touching the mat, you can always take a blanket underneath your forehead to bring the ground up to you. This is a class of really just full support. And now start breathing into the back of your body, feeling the back of your ribs starting to expand with air. Maybe even start to feel the side of your ribs expand. Take one more big breath here. Keep sending your hips back and walk your hands off to the right side of the mat. So be mindful of any props, maybe give some things a little bit of a scooch. And now breathe into the left side of your body. Send that left hip back down. Yeah. So that might mean your hands have to walk a little bit back closer to center, and that's all right. We want to add that opportunity for space and opening in the left side. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, walk your hands all the way off to the left side. And then same thing applies. The right hip wants to keep rooted. And you might not even notice that. So just send your right butt cheek closer to your right ankle. And you want to bring your toes closer together. Yes, there it is. Yeah. Breathe into this right rib cage. Exhale, come back through center. Lift your hips up, downward facing dog. So keep the hands nice and wide. Maybe even spread your fingertips super wide so your palms are fully touching the mat. And then some of you may want to walk your hands a little bit closer to your feet so you can lift your hips up even higher. So back of the mat. Yeah, there it is. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades down your back and towards your chest. And towards your leg. There you go. Chest to leg. So chest wants to push back. Yes, nice. Add some movement. 2 more breaths in this downward facing dog. And on your exhale, look at your hands and slowly tiptoe your feet to the top of your mat. Ragdoll. Keep your feet hip width distance. Grab your elbows and just hang out of your legs. Invite some bend into your knees so the hamstrings have a little bit of a chance to keep warming up. And we want to keep just meeting the body where it's at. And if the lower back is really bothering some of us today, bend your knees so much that your chest is actually laying on your thighs and you're creating that support for yourself. A soft sway from side to side might feel good here. Or maybe shaking your head out side to side and letting the neck just loosen up. Release your hands between your feet. Take your left fingertips down, bend your left knee, reach your right arm up, ragdoll twist. Keep reaching your head towards the front of your mat instead of the corner of the mat. One more big breath in. Exhale, release, switch sides. Right hand comes down, bend into your right knee a lot so you can almost press your arm into your leg and then open up left arm. Same thing, straighten the spine. Head wants to reach to the front of the room. So as the spine lengthens long, it has more room to twist. Exhale, release your hands and slowly roll up all the way to standing. Soft bend to the knees. And then when we get up here, take a full body stretch. And I like to interlace my fingers and press my palms up towards the ceiling. Yeah. Keep plugging the core and the belly button in softly so we don't take a back bend just yet. Bring your arms out of your peripheral view and exhale, press your hands at your lower back, palms facing each other. Squeeze the shoulders, puff up your chest and fold forward, bringing your arms away from your lower back. Keep the knees soft. Keep your elbows soft as well. This is also a chance to use a strap if you need. We have 3 more breaths here. Keep trying to reach your palms closer together as another way to open up. One more big breath in. Breath out, release your hands. Inhale, take a halfway lift, straighten your spine. So you want to take the bubble out of your upper back. So if that means that our hands have to leave the floor to get really straight, do that. Press your hands against your shins. Exhale, step back into a high plank. You can take your knees down right away since this is restorative after all. Or we can spend 3 powerful breaths here to start igniting our abdominals. Start integrating all the body muscles, quads fire up, heels kick back. The more we warm up, the more we can ease into our cooling poses at the end of the class. Slowly lower all the way down, one long line. Squeeze your elbows into your side, lift your chest, cobra. Keep your gaze kind of down at the floor so your neck is long. Exhale, lower. Inhale, squeeze your shoulders to lift you up. Breath in, breath out, brings you back down to your mat. One more round. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower. Push back into a child's pose. I always love when the rain starts to come into a restorative class. Try to tap into all the sounds of this moment, all the sensations of this moment to keep you present here so you can really get that relaxation out of the class, as well as the nice warmth and movement of our stretches and asana practice. Take one more big breath in, breath out, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here and try to let your heels drop a little bit closer to the mat. And then we can soften the knees to allow that. Yeah. On your next exhale, look at your hands and walk your feet up there. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to standing. Take a full body stretch. And then exhale, forward fold. Any arm variation is welcome. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, step it back, high plank. Take one powerful breath here. And as you exhale, everything touches at the same time. Core still stays engaged. 3 cobras. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower. Keep squeezing your elbows in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And you don't have to go that high, by the way. Inhale, one more. Lift, elbows, pull back. Exhale, lower. Child's pose. This child's pose, keep your knees a little closer together and send your arms back towards your ankles. Maybe you can even grab your feet or your ankles and allow your arms to really spread wide over your knees. And if you need any support for your knees, you can always unfold a blanket a couple of times and have a little bit of a soft layer for the knees. With every exhale, let your shoulder blades spread apart. Take 2 more breaths here. On your last exhale, bring your hands back to the front of the mat. Lift up, downward facing dog. And try to send your hands like a couple inches back closer to your feet. Lift your hips up even higher. And invite that softness in your knees. Press your chest back towards your thighs. On your exhale, look at your hands and walk your feet up there. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And while we're here, grab your right wrist with your left hand, bend over towards the white wall or the left side of your mat for those of you at home. Keep pressing your right foot into the mat as you pull your right arm out of your body. Take one more big breath in, breath out, and come back through center. Switch sides. Right hand comes around the left wrist, and then we're going to bend over towards the windows and press our left foot into the mat. Keep plugging in the core gently so the lower back has some protection with that engagement. On your next inhale, come back through center, open your arms out wide, swan dive, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high plank. One powerful breath in. Your exhale brings you all the way down to the mat. 3 cobras. Inhale, lift, pull the elbows back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the elbows, yes. Exhale, lower. One more, lift with your upper back. Exhale, lower, child's pose, either variation, 3 breaths. Those of you that want a little bit more upper back and shoulder release, those hands towards the back of your ankles definitely do a nice trick here. Breathe deeper, breathe louder. Recognize the control that you have over your breath, over your reactions to your experience. Everyone bring your hands back in front of you, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back a foot closer to your feet, and then take your right hand to the outside of your left ankle. Twist and look over up at your left armpit or up at the ceiling, whatever your eyeballs can get to. Release your right hand, other side. Left hand comes to the outside of the right ankle. Twist across and look up at your armpit, your arm, whatever your eyeballs can kind of get to. Try to challenge that drishti, your focus. Release your hands. And then drop your knees down to the mat. We're going to take our bolster out in front of us and open up our legs out wide for a wide leg forward folds, but with some support of our props. So I like to just kind of keep my bolster here. You can also just open up your legs and grab your bolster for some support of your head. Some of you may be able to just lay it on the ground and let your head drop heavy, stacking up some blankets to allow just somewhere for your head to land. And try to find a space that is a balance between a nice stretch and comfort. So some of you may be very used to our power practice where we really put everything we got into every single pose. That is awesome. However, here, just scale it back just a little bit so we can find that balance of really being able to passively experience the posture and kind of surrender into the pose versus actively still trying to get further and further. That gives us a little bit more chance to really kind of work on what's going on up here in our little brains. And sometimes that quiet may be a little uncomfortable and kind of sitting with yourself. I've been there. I know. I think after this whole year, we all have had a little bit of an experience with that if we haven't yet already in our lives. So start to notice as we start slowing down what that conversation becomes like in your head. Is it difficult to still maintain presence here now that we have less physical demand on what we're doing? And the trick to kind of calm that chatter is turning the attention deeper to your breath. I'd like to kind of like pick one element of breath every time I practice. Sometimes I decide, how does the breath feel like just physically in my body? What is that experience of breath like? Especially those of you newer to the practice, that might be really helpful because there isn't a lot of activities that really encourage us to think about our breathing all the time. Or maybe start to notice how your breath changes with challenge in the postures and your reactions, how they change with the breath. Because most of the time our breath starts to change and react before our brain even gets the message. So notice what could be coming up for you that's holding you back from that presence. want to get your head to be nice and supported, you can also take this block underneath and you can keep building it up. Yeah. So now you can just chill. Yeah. Take about 3 more breaths here. Point your toes up to the ceiling and see if you can just exhale and surrender into the pose. Allow your body to just sink in to the space. Slowly start to lift your chest up. And then we can start moving some of the blocks and props out of our way. I'm going to invite everyone into a side bend stretch. So I sometimes like to leave my bolster or a block right inside of my inner thigh so I can press my forearm into that support. Some of you can reach the ground, whatever your body can do in this moment, just support it. So take your right forearm down by your right thigh, and then we're going to reach our left arm up and over towards our right toes. Toes are pointing up. And then from here, press your right arm into your thigh and open up and twist your chest up towards the ceiling. Send your eyeballs to the ceiling and keep reaching your left arm up and over. So we're kind of tapping into our quadratus lumboris here. So the quadratus lumboris, for those of you that don't know, it's the big muscle that connects from the base of your ribs to the base or the top of your hips and your pelvis. So if our lower back is kind of bothering us, this is a really great area to stretch, to kind of release all the areas that are connecting to the lower back. Keep that twist. That twist is what's really going to get you into that QL. Some of you can reach your toes in bind if that's available. And then turn your hand also down towards the floor. Yeah, keep reaching. Maybe squeeze your shoulder blades for that twist. Take 2 more breaths here. Breathe in deeper and notice how your breath might start to change if this doesn't feel as good as you want it to feel, or if you're noticing some tension, tightness. And slowly exhale, walk your hands off to the left side. So take any support that you need, blanket inside the left thigh, bolster, maybe stack a couple things, wherever we need to meet our body, do it. And then press your left forearm into your thigh, into the mat, open up and reach your right arm towards your left toes that are pointing straight up. And then try to work your chest up more and more towards the ceiling. Gaze turns up to the ceiling. Yeah, if this feels really intense, breathe. Use your breath to open up the pose from the inside out. And also, if it's starting to be in a place that it's so physically demanding you can't relax, scale it back, dial it back. Striking balance is what we're working on in addition to the physical postures. Or breathe more powerfully. You've got options. So just play around with what works for you. Every pose could be a different option that works. Every day could be a different option that works. Just be open to it. Take 2 more breaths here. Keep reaching your hand, turning your palm down towards the mat. And then slowly release your hands. Keep your bolster or place your bolster out in front of you if you don't have it yet already. And then we're going to take a twisted child's pose. So we're going to now take our right hip to the base of our bolster. So we're kind of turning off to the side. We're making an L shape with our right thigh and our bolster. It's perpendicular to each other. And then it's not just leaning over to the side. We want to twist before we lower down. So try to get the center of your heart, the center of your chest, centered to the bolster. And we can still add in a blanket or 2 if we need. and slowly lower yourself down. So we want to get that twist through the middle of our spine, right around our belly button. And then you can turn your head all the way around away from your knees. However, if there's any cervical tension, any cervical injuries, you can turn your head in the same direction as your knees. And if you're kind of sitting here and you're like, this isn't really much of a stretch for me right now, you can spread your knees out. So the base of your left thigh is right underneath your right foot, and you kind of create like a little Z shape with your legs. Yeah, so spread that top leg away. This is a subtle stretch, so it's really about that surrender. With every exhale, try to release all those muscles, all of your bones, everything into the mat. Give your body permission to surrender. Sometimes we have to be so on all the time. We have so many responsibilities. Maybe we're responsible for other people that it's really hard to allow ourselves to relax sometimes. That's definitely a problem for me. Like, I know I need to relax. I try to do things to help me relax, but then when I'm doing these relaxing things, I'm still not relaxing. So tell yourself it's okay. You're already here, so you might as well give it everything you got and really just allow this opportunity for you to disconnect. And if you need something else to focus on today, nature has given us a really great opportunity to just tune into the sounds of the rain. Sometimes we need some other options to help us tune out. Take 3 more breaths on this side. Whenever you're ready, use your hands to walk your chest back up. And we're just going to leave everything right as it is and just give ourselves a little turn towards the back of the room. And then bring your left thigh to the base of your bolster, making that L shape once more. And so we can start with the knees stacked right on top of each other because one side may twist a little bit more openly than the other. And twist. Center of the heart or the chest centered to the bolster. So we can try to bring both shoulders down. And then reach through your spine, surrender, turn your head all the way around, or keep it in the same direction as your knees. And then when we get here, if we're still nice and comfortable, spread your knees out wide so the top of your right thigh meets your left foot. So this is the area of our middle back that's right around our diaphragm. And our diaphragm is what allows us to take nice, deeper, full breaths in. But sometimes, from either poor posture, or really stressful periods of time, or just breathing habits that we're not really aware of, this area can get super tense and tight. And that's not even getting into the muscular opportunities that this area can get really tight through the spine. So every breath out, let the weight of your body drop into the support of the props. This is a reminder that your yoga practice, your mat, is really always there to support you. We can always support ourselves. Sometimes that's a reminder that we can easily forget. So give yourself some nice, tender, loving care in this moment. Give yourself permission to disconnect, surrender. Every exhale tries to bring your right shoulder down closer to the bolster. Lengthen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. Yeah. Take 3 more breaths on this side. Over your next couple breaths, slowly start to use your arms to lift yourself back up. And then you can move your bolster a little bit out of the way. And then come on to just a simple hero's pose. So just sit back on your shins, get a little bit of a thigh stretch going. If this is a little uncomfortable, you can always sit the bolster between your legs. Or if you have any kind of knee issues, this could be a nice little substitute. So from here, roll the shoulders back, lengthen through your head, drop your chin to your chest, and roll your ear towards your right shoulder. And then bring your chest back through center and bring your ear to your left shoulder. And then keep going in these semicircles to start. And then maybe you can start widening the semicircles little by little every round. And if you start dropping your head all the way around, really ensure that you're squeezing your shoulders down your back and lengthening your spine so your head isn't touching your upper back so much. So you don't want to crunch the back of the cervical spine that much. So sometimes if you have like a neck injury or anything like that, you can just keep these semicircles, and that would be quite enough to get a nice, decent stretch. And the next time your right ear gets to your right shoulder, hold there. Take your right hand onto your left ear. And you can softly just pull your head to invite a little bit more opening, but very gentle. And you can add on by taking this left hand back behind you, similar to our Gomukhasana arms. Our palm is going to be facing the back of the room. This gets a little bit into the deltoid, the front of the shoulder, because all this stuff connects to the neck and could all get tight along with the neck, through the chest, through the upper back. As someone with a neck injury, I'm very much aware of this. As much as I wish this wasn't true, definitely is. So take another big breath in, straighten your spine, pull your shoulder blades a little bit deeper down your back. And then you can take 2 more breaths, turning your gaze to your armpit to get a little bit towards the back side of the neck muscles. Slowly release your head. Other side, we're gonna take our left ear to our left shoulder. Left hand comes to the right ear. Softly give it some extra expansion. And then we can choose to take the right arm behind our back, palm facing out. And then try to reach your hand towards the center of your spine. So the more you kind of reach towards the center, the more you can help lock the shoulder back. And so if you notice ever, if you're doing this neck stretch that your shoulder kind of comes with it, then that's where you really want to keep the shoulder locked in by having the arm behind your back. Take 2 more breaths to turn your gaze down to your armpit. And then release. Bridge pose. So take your bolster nearby. We're going to use that, or our block if you have a block instead. So we're going to set up for our bridge pose. Feet hip width distance, knees hip width distance. So give a little squeeze of the inner thighs. And then we're going to press up actively into our bridge pose, taking our bolster right underneath our sacrum. So our bolster is actually going to be really just supporting our butt and that really flat disc at the top of your butt crack. That's really where we want this bolster to be. So we're not bending the lumbar spine too much. So you kind of may want to be on the edge, the back edge of the bolster, if that helps, especially those of you with any lower back tightness. So we're just inverting, allowing the hips to be a little higher than the heart to invite some blood flow back to our vital organs. So with every breath, every exhale, allow your hips to sink softly into the bolster. You can shimmy your shoulder blades a little bit closer underneath your chest to puff up your chest towards the ceiling. Allow the surrender. So we might want to bring your bolster a little bit lower down. Yeah, so it's right like through here. Yeah. So then you can kind of just like relax a little bit more. It becomes a little bit more effortless when you have that bolster right on the sacrum. Requires a little bit less muscle activation. So that's what we're here for. That passive opportunity to deepen. Inviting this opportunity for more passive stretching. This gives the body a different opportunity to still deepen our stretches and our mobility and our flexibility, but also helps us get a little bit more flexible with that mental space and that ability to relax into the pose and kind of get a little bit of a different benefit from our practice. Over your next couple breaths, if you would like to extend your legs straight out in front of you, you can. However, if you have any tightness or injury in your lower back and it starts to feel a little funky, then keep your feet in that bridge pose. Or maybe kind of pull up your hips a little higher on the bolster. Take 5 more deep breaths wherever you are, continuing to offer that surrender. Take deep breaths into the front of your body. And deep breaths out to sink in. Those of you that have your legs extended, walk yourself back into a bridge pose. Everyone bring your knees into your chest. And then you can take a waterfall, lifting your legs all the way up to the ceiling, or you can keep your knees into your chest, yogi's choice. And so we want to be kind of now on the back edge of our bolster. If we're kind of noticing it's like really hard to muscularly hold here, keep scooching your back so you're kind of falling off the bolster. And if any of you want to take a shoulder stand, feel free. If you're taking that shoulder stand, make sure you have a nice gap between your neck and the floor. This is just offering more of an inversion opportunity to bring all the blood flow back to the heart, lifting the hips higher than your heart to just promote that circulation. Those of you that are in shoulder stand, you can drop your feet back into plow. If your feet can touch the floor, cool. If not, that's cool too. Those of you in waterfall, 3 more breaths here. Slowly bring your knees into your chest. Those of you in shoulder stand, rock slowly back into position, bring your knees into your chest. And then release your knees and start pushing the bolster away from your body. So your entire butt comes off of the bolster. Yeah. And then we're just gonna cross our right ankle over our left thigh for a reclined figure 4 stretch. Basically a reclined half pigeon. So we flex our right foot and our left foot so our knee stays protected. And breathe into your right glute. So you can grab the back of your left thigh, your shin, wherever your body can reach. You can also use a strap here as well. Make sure your hips are off the bolster. Keep pulling your left leg closer to your body, and then maybe use your right elbow to open up and push your right leg away. That gets a little bit more of an external rotation of your hip, and then you can pull your left hip in a little bit closer. Keep flexing through your feet if this is funky on the knee. And also you can keep your left foot down on the mat if you're still kind of working up to this opening. We want to have your head on the mat, your neck relaxing. So if that means you have to take your left foot down and that's where you start the pose, that's cool. That's fine. We can still get a nice glute stretch here. And then you know where to go as you build up. Take 2 more breaths here. And then we're gonna switch our legs. You can take a moment to kind of rock your legs from side to side and kind of windshield wiper your legs to prepare and loosen up to go onto the other side. And then we're gonna cross our left ankle over our right thigh, grab the back of our thigh, our right shin. We can keep our right foot down and we just get a stretch just like this. So try to relax your head. Yeah. And if you have your foot grounded, you can just keep walking it back closer to your body to go deeper. And then remember to keep flexing through your feet to protect the knee joint. You can also use your left elbow to pull and externally rotate the left leg. Oh, okay. So we'll take it nice and slow. But that's just another way to continue to deepen the stretch, because the hips have a lot of area that they can be tight. There's a lot of direction of the joint. So everyone can have tightness in a little bit of a different spot. So just keep flexing through your feet and breathe into the left glute muscle. Every exhale, relax your forehead and your jaw. And then whenever you feel complete, release both of your legs, move your bolster off to the side, maybe give a little windshield wiper from side to side of your hips. And then bring your knees back into your chest, rock up and down the length of your spine so we can come up to a seat and set up for our final resting pose for Shavasana. So I want to guide you all through reclined bound angle pose for Shavasana. So it's a hip opener, a heart opener. However, if you already had your own kind of idea and plan for Shavasana, you can take any option. Bolster under the knees, under the chest is nice and comfortable. Blankets can be pillows, or our reclined bound angle. We have our bolster going long ways down our mat, and then we take our strap. So you see how there's this big circle, a loop in the strap? If you don't have a strap that has this, I will give you a new one. So we take the strap and go inside of this loop. And you want to have the loop nice and big. So this loop goes around the base of your pelvis and the base of your hips in the back. And then we take our feet into Supta Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees out wide in a butterfly position. So this is the bound angle. So then we take the other part of the strap. So the strap is going above the knees, around your feet. Monique, can you see me over there on Zoom? Yeah, okay, good. All right, so we take the strap around our feet. We can grab hold of our strap, and then we lay back onto our bolster, shimmy our shoulder blades, and open up. And then we can use our blankets here two ways, either underneath the knees to give some support for the hip opener, or if you're real ready to go deeper, blankets on top to anchor you down. You can also take a blanket on your chest if you need a little bit more grounding today. I can bring you over a third blanket if you want to take all of the variations. And so make sure the bolster is high up enough that your head is fully supported. So Joe, make sure that your bolster go a little bit further away, or that way, yeah. So your head doesn't dangle or anything. Okay, there it is. Anyone need some help, or is there a strap not agreeing with the situation? Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. Does your strap have the loop? Is it not tightening? Okay, sometimes they got rewrapped a little funky and they lose their tightness. So let me get you guys something new. Okay, this one's also like this. Okay. For you. Take this one. And then same thing for you. It's not holding tight. Okay. Okay. So goes over, around your hips, and then your feet. So through your legs. And open it. It gets a little tighter as you lean back, as you may have noticed. If you need to loosen it up a little bit. Yes. So you want to make sure that your toes aren't getting squished though. Yeah, right there. Does that feel comfortable? Okay. All right. So straps want to be in between your legs. So 3. So like this. So have your knees out nice and wide. So the strap wants to go in between. Yeah. And then from here, lay back. And then let your knees just fall open. Yeah. And then you can take this underneath. And then this one under this one. And relax. So everyone, now that we've all arrived, take a big breath in and a big sigh out. Take 2 more just like that. One more big breath in. Now let your breath just kind of go back to normal, maybe a new normal. And just notice what your breath feels like now compared to the beginning of class, maybe compared to those challenging poses that you experienced today. And continue to give yourself permission to surrender here. You have nothing else to do yet. So just stay here in this moment. Keep reminding yourself to stay present here. Relax your hand. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Over your next couple of breaths, slowly start bringing your knees into your chest. Release the tightness of the strap, props. And we want to just roll on to either side of your bolster, whatever has more room. And just kind of take a moment to just roll off. Bring your spine back to neutral and your knees into your chest. Use this as a moment of closure to appreciate this practice, this body, this home, and all the support that we have from our practice, from this community. And then whenever you're ready, with your eyes closed, come up to a seat facing the front of the room. Bring your hands to your heart. Take this moment to really continue to acknowledge yourself. Send yourself love and kindness. And remind yourself you are loved, you are capable, you are powerful. You have resilience and strength. And your practice is always here to continue to build that and remind you of that. And let's bring our thumb knuckles to our third eye and send out some loving kindness to every yogi in this room for sharing each other's light, each other's practice, and creating this wonderful space and energy for us all to benefit from. So let's bow forward and share the word. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys have any questions, any feedback for me, my name is Martha. I'm here. And have a great rest of your Saturday. The rain's like almost over, so you guys missed out on it, which was great. We had a nice way to just chill out in the rain. All right, thank you everyone on Zoom for joining me today. Karen, Monique, it's always a pleasure. All right, guys. If you guys haven't heard, we do have some 300-hour teacher training modules coming up. Those are kind of like our main announcements. If you guys have any questions about any of that, let me know. All right, everybody. Bye, Monique. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you. You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Karen.